Wow.
Hello,
Hello,
I'm John.
I'm John.
You did this last time. Can't do the same joke twice. I would never do such a thing. Welcome to John and Sue's movie reviews, and today Sue's very, very excited because
We're watching Rocky Horror. Yeah!
Janet,
I'm so excited.
Dr. Scott. Fine, we won't quote you
No,
too
I'm
short
gonna
then.
let you quote it. It's okay.
Rocky. So yes, we're watching Rocky Horror Picture Show. So when we randomly chose this movie, Sue made a noise I never heard in the 8 years we've been together. That was quite concerning. So she's a little excited to watch this movie. We have both seen it. One
Yeah.
definitely more than the other. How many times would you say you've seen this film? Let's give this an honest answer.
Oh, God. I don't. It's definitely in the double digits. Maybe around 60, 70, maybe.
Seriously,
Yeah.
that's an insane amount of time. I mean, you see, no, I can't believe you. I can't no, because that would
When I
suggest.
first watched it, I there used to be certain parts in the film that would make me hysterically laugh. And then so I'd rewind it, watch it again, rewind it, watch it again.
Now we know where our
And
son
then
gets it from.
and then
Not with Rocky
whenever I
Horror.
was
Not with Rocky
bored.
Horror. He hasn't watched that yet.
Oh and then but he has heard the soundtrack. But when I used to live on my own, I used to watch it quite a lot. So yeah, it maybe not 60. It might be an exaggeration, but it is maybe 40 or something. But I've never seen it live.
In terms
Never.
of me seeing this film, and I've seen obviously clips. I mean, the thing is, this film is one of those films that you have seen the clips more than you've seen the film by a long shot. I'd say, generally speaking, and that applies to me. In terms of seeing this film from start to finish, I think I have only seen it once, possibly twice, from start to finish.
It was my dad that introduced me to this film. My dad's introduced me to a lot of films, so I have him to thank. But he introduced me to this. He was like, "You like songs, you like a bit of rock, you'll like this." A man as a transvestite.
A what?
Yeah, so
Okay, right. So this is a musical comedy horror, hence the title. Came out in 1975, had a $1.4 million budget, and it made 170 million in box office, which is astronomical when you compare to the budget. And if you didn't know, according to Wikipedia, it's a film about a young engaged couple whose car breaks down in the rain near a castle where they seek a telephone to call for help. The home is occupied by strangers in elaborate costumes celebrating an annual convention. But let's be honest with you, it's a bit more than that. But that's a nice little description. Well,
I'm so excited. And he knows that I'm going to be singing and he's going to hate it. I'm going to love it. I don't care. Any fan of Rocky Horror, you cannot sit still in the film and not sing along.
all right, let's get this out of the way, shall we?
I'll get him to sing.
See you in the near future.
Janet!
Dr. Scott!
Janet!
Brad!
Rucker! Janet!
Dr. Scott!
Janet!
Brad!
Rucker! Janet!
Dr. Scott!
Janet!
Brad!
Rucker!
Film finished.
He finished.
So what do you think of that, Sue?
You know what I think.
Are you are you a fan of the film?
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Rocker. What you want me to talk about instead? You want to know
Yeah.
what I think?
Oh yeah.
Oh, look, let's get something straight. Like, I'm not a massive fan of this film. Don't know if you guys have picked that up. I've never been a huge fan of this film, and I'm not. I don't hate it. I never hate it. I don't know. And watching the film again kind of reaffirmed how I feel about it generally, anyway. Which is that I think this film, when it comes to, if you strip the songs out of this film, it's not a very good film. And you know what? I was thinking about this especially towards the end of this film. You know what? Do you know what? In comparative, if you actually strip the songs out, right? Do you know what I'd say the song that this film actually, in a very bizarre way, reminds me of?
What?
In a certain weird way, it reminds me of Barbarella. It's got that camp quality to it that, and don't forget when we were watching Barbarella, right? We were saying how it was kind of ahead of its time. This film was about 8 years between the two films. And Barbarella got smashed. It was not a very well received film, and yet I think in terms of the qualities of the actual film, I think they're similar. But the songs are so good.
They are good.
They're so damn good.
I will sing it along.
And that's what holds the film up for me. Is that I think this is one of those films that if you strip those songs out, it's just so weird. And again, we were saying that about Barbarella, and that's why I'm comparing the two, because they're both very weird sci-fi films with lots of sexy, naughty things going on, lots of weird humor, and the only thing that makes this film so much different is that you got these brilliant, brilliant musical songs in it.
Yeah.
So that's why I've mentioned the B film a lot. Well, it's just like quite ironic because they're both B films, actually. But that's my opinion on this film. So I'm sure you're very surprised to hear that coming from my mouth. Not the I'm not a big fan bit, but the whole comparing it to Barbarella bit. I bet you weren't expecting me to say that, were you?
No, I wasn't, to be honest. No.
So that's my thoughts on the film. So I mean, as someone who is a huge, huge fan of this film, right? Can you try to explain to people who may not be, there's not many people, but let's just say, if someone hasn't watched Rocky Horror Picture Show, tell people why they should watch it.
Because it's weird. It is a weird film, and it is kind of like Marmite. You either love it or hate it. But the songs are so catchy, and it's so cringy, and you do kind of get sucked into it, even if like you don't know what's going on. You're kind of like, why is there a man in fishnets singing about being a transvestite, and then next minute like he's trying to do something else, and then he builds a man out, and you're just like, what is going on? But it's oh god, like it's just so good, and you have to give it a chance no matter what. Even if you just rather watch it for the songs than the movie, which is fine. But you can't not love that movie at all. If not the movie, then definitely not the songs anyway. But yeah, so
it's a fun ride, isn't it? I mean, that's what this film is.
Yeah.
It puts a smile on your face. I mean, this is how I see it for you. Not necessarily for me, because it's not my cup of tea, right? But I think we know that. But for you, for me, the way I see it for you and so many other people trying to look from the outside the box looking in, it's one of those films that put a smile on your face throughout it.
Yeah.
And the songs hold the film up so well. Because once one song's finished and it's an absolute corker of a song, the next song's not far away.
Well, yeah, and as well, going back to what you asked me just then, it was a film that had never happened before.
Oh, no.
Like, and it was such a controversial thing to happen, because you had a man in women's clothing wearing women's makeup trying to seduce other men and other women. He was a bisexual man trying to, in a way, get what he wants, and no other film's ever done that before. It's a huge hit in the LGBTQ plus community, and no matter what club you go in or what bar you go in, at least one of the songs is playing. It doesn't matter, it could be Time Warp, it could be any of the songs, and you'll know straight away you know, and obviously Time Warp is the biggest hit of them all because everyone fucking knows that. It's like the 70s version of the Cha-Cha Slide. Everyone knows it and everyone knows what to do. As soon as you hear it though, you know.
Yes, okay. Yeah,
So,
I get that, yeah.
But
I was wondering where you're going with that, but yeah, I get your logic now.
Yeah, it is though.
Yeah,
when you
I
think
suppose.
about it. When you think about it.
I'd say the Cha-Cha Slide is the noughties version of the Time Warp, not the
You know
other
what I
way
mean
around.
though. You know what I mean.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Um,
So what's your favourite part of the film? Can that be done? Can you say you have a specific favourite part of the film?
I don't know. I don't think I can. I could say my favourite song.
What's your favourite song?
Songs, should I say. Favourite song is Rose Tint My World. Always has been, always will be.
I mean, for me, it's not my favourite. It's not my cup of tea, generally speaking. But I mean, for me, you've got to go back to the fact that you got Time Warp, and then you have this very small section before Sweet Transvestite kicks in, and it's
a
absolutely
30-second window.
seamless. It's seamless, and you could argue very easily that those are the two biggest songs of the film. You like Time Warp, obviously, is the massive song, but you'd probably say second place has to be Sweet Transvestite,
Definitely.
and those two songs are bam bam next to each other, and it's just like
of course it's the big hit. It's the second big hit because it's the first time you ever see him in like fishnets and in the corset and the high heels and the makeup, and you're just like, this dude's just come down from a lift out of freaking nowhere, and you're like, and now he's talking about being a transvestite and just everything else, and you're like, what the hell is happening? Why am I hallucinating?
Oh, now what's your star rating for it then?
5
stars.
5 stars.
There we go. We got our first 5 stars.
Wow.
And it's coming from a biased and non-biased point of view. I love it. It's a good film. I've watched it since I was about, God, when did I first watch this? I think I first watched this when I was about 9, and I fell in love with it ever since. And it's just such a good film, and I listen to it all the time. Braden listens to the soundtrack with me now. You know, he knows Time Warp, so yeah, 5 definitely.
I mean, I'm going 3.5 stars for this one. I'm
yeah,
not.
Well, you're a slut anyway, so you know.
same score as Barbarella. I've gone 3.5 stars a lot on these reviews so far, but and I don't mean to be kind of central about it, but it just has been. But no, it's for me. It's a 7 out of 10, 3.5 star film. It's good. It is a good film. But as I said, if you strip those songs out, man, it's.
Oh yeah, of course. But you can say that about any film, really. If there's certain parts in a film and you strip them out, you're going to be like, "What the hell's happening?"
I mean, yeah, I suppose you could make a really strong point to say that you said about basically any musical.
Well, yeah, exactly.
So that is the genre of musicals that the music holds the film. But even by musical standards, for me, I do think that the plot is so thin. Not thin. That's a harsh word. It's just
it's so believed.
It's odd. It's just
it is.
It's just odd and hard to follow. But anyway, you love it. Our friends and family love it, and it ain't going away. It's one of those films that will be still probably 50 to 100 years from now still talked about as being one of the biggest films ever made, and rightfully so, completely justifiably. Right. I think that's enough now. We've been talking a long time because you won't shut up about this film. No, because you love it so much.
Yeah, of course. I'm passionate about it.
Well, until the next video, guys, that's pretty much it from us. So comment, subscribe. Tell us your favourite part of Rocky Horror Picture Show. Tell us what it means to you. What does this film mean to you? Because I'm sure everyone's got an opinion on it. So tell us in the comments.
And if it's wrong, we don't want to hear
it. So until the next video, guys, thank you so much for watching, and see you then. Take care. Bye.
Bye.